when you do these think pieces with no thought, and you say that the Breakfast Club is losing viewership because we're no longer on YouTube. Let's have intellectually honest conversations. If you say, because everybody saw the clip of Just Hilarious this week. If you say that people are upset we're no longer on YouTube, that's very accurate. There are people that are upset that we're no longer on YouTube.
Yeah, they have to go through one more thing to watch the show. Yeah. There's an inconvenience to it.
Change is hard for people. I get it. You know what I mean? So there are people who are upset.
They're like engaging in the comment section. They like feeling like they're part of the conversation, for sure.
But when you say things like Breakfast Club is losing viewership, you cannot
How would they know that?
You can't have that conversation if you don't know what our viewership on Netflix is. I need people to be smarter. That's why I salute to my guy Art. I was talking to Art and I saw Art do a video, but it's like I told Art the same thing. It's like when these people have these conversations about Breakfast Club losing viewership, you got to say, well, what are they doing on Netflix? What are the numbers on Netflix?
Charlamagne, let me ask you a question. Do you think a video that was made from a YouTube creator, a TikTok creator that said, hey, we don't know if the Breakfast Club is losing viewers or not because they're on Netflix, do you think that would get any views?
I don't know. You're right.
What do you think gets more views?
The salacious shit, saying Breakfast Club is losing viewers.
The negative salacious shit, of course, yeah. And that's.
So we see Charlamagne clapping back to everybody that says they're struggling on Netflix. I think the biggest thing about the Breakfast Club is they're losing their impact because they're not on YouTube. That's my opinion, right? But also, too, you got to listen to the people. It's not just one person saying this on social media. There's a lot of people saying this. There's a lot of their viewers, right? But I understand what he's saying, though. How do you know the viewership if it's not being put out there to know it, right? But you have to listen to the people. It's for me, in my opinion, I think the Netflix deal was not that great for them because they are the show of the people. People wanted to react with them in real time. It's a little bit different on Netflix. People are not used to change. That's what it is, right? Is he making more money? Possibly, for sure. Probably because they got a deal, right? Does it open up more avenues for podcasts? Cool, but I don't see them as a podcast. I see them as an interactive show for the people to tune in, like a radio show. So I think their format is really difficult for Netflix because it's more of a radio show. It's more of an interactive show. It's not just a podcast where they're just talking to people. They're talking about a bunch of things, but people are interacting. Look, one thing you got to understand is you got to listen to your clientele. You got to listen to your customer. If a lot of people, it's not just a couple people. It's a lot of people coming out here, and also too having Just Hilarious come out and kind of, say what everybody's been thinking. That probably hurts the image of the show as well, and that hurts that deal. Right, her saying that it's tough on Netflix. See, so I think that gives a little validity to what people are saying. Obviously, Charlamagne wants us to work because Netflix is a great partner, but their show, it's not just like a Joe Rogan podcast where it's just Charlamagne or Andrew talking to somebody. It's a whole show with multiple people. It's a lot going on, and people want to interact. People want to comment live. They don't just want to sit and just watch. Because people weren't used to just sitting and watching. They were used to interacting on YouTube, telling people their comments, and getting that live feedback. The one thing I love about doing No Filter Morning Show is the feedback during the show. You get to understand and know what people are thinking, so that's what keeps you in tune with everything that's going on in the world.
That's what we're drawn to. We're drawn to negativity as human beings.
I get it. Well, here's the reality of the situation. You should want podcasts to win on Netflix, guys. The reason you should want podcasts to win on Netflix is because, and I don't even call them podcasts. There's a great article that came out in the New York Times this week about what exactly Netflix is doing, especially with their originals. I'm quoted in the article a couple of times, and I said it, I think that, that's the vodcast business. In order for it to be a podcast, it has to have the audio component, but that's neither here nor there. What I'm simply saying is, if you are a podcaster who's doing this right now, right, you're watching this video on YouTube, you should be happy that there's more revenue streams opening up.
Yep.
You should be happy that there's more people who may want to license your content. You should be happy about that. You should be happy as another revenue stream.
You're asking miserable people to be happy, man. And you know too much about mental health to understand that that's possible.
Well, I'm trying to give them a reason to be happy.
They got to be happy inside first.
Because it's gonna come a time like you might be doing all of these numbers on YouTube, but you might be tired of having a platform that is demonetizing your content when they want to. You might be tired of being on a platform that's suppressing your content when they want to. So you might want to say, you know what, I want to take this great content that I'm creating and do a deal with one of these streamers, get some guaranteed money in my pocket for a couple of years, get introduced to a whole different audience on a whole different algorithm. Hopefully people that fuck with me, come over and watch it here as well. And boom, all is right with the world.
I think that is the main point of their deal. That's the reason why they're on this deal, is to get a new audience, a new clientele, a new viewership, a new algorithm. Maybe they've been demonetized a lot of time on YouTube for things that they say. Maybe you have to be more selective on what clips to use. Definitely understand it, right? But I think for this show, it's really difficult to do it on Netflix in this current way that it is, because it's just a show now. People have to really just sit down and just watch. They may want to react. They want to tell people how they feel, but they have no outlet. So could their show change the way that some of these podcasts are on Netflix? Could this show improve the Netflix platform and give them a way to interact live during the show? That could be another way that Netflix has to start opening up more to a streaming aspect instead of just a show. So could this show help Netflix be better? Right? But obviously I get it. Guaranteed money. What streamer or what YouTuber doesn't want the guaranteed income stream? All you have to do is make shows now, but you got money in your pocket and you don't have to worry about views and all of this and ads and, get demonetized. I definitely understand that point. And I think that maybe they had a lot of problems with the demonetization because they talk about a lot of different things and go off the rails sometimes. So you don't want to mess up the money, right? They probably wanted a break. And I think this might be a good break for them, the personalities, to get that instant cash in their pocket. But for the show, it might hurt their impact a little bit because they're not being seen as much. What we know about YouTube is free. Everybody goes to YouTube. Just your audience is bigger. But you have to subdue some of your content because you don't want to get demonetized. You want to make money on everything that you produce. But I understand what he's saying. That's a great point on that one.
That's what I would do. I would think if I was a content
more
creator.
people. Listen, the more people that are competing for you, the higher your price goes.
Mm-hmm.
And the more companies that are competing for your attention,
That's right,
the lower their price goes.
That's right.
So it always benefits the creator and the consumer if there are more opportunities. If there's one place only, like I remember this even happened with stand-up specials. Like there were times where there was just one place. And they could pay you whatever the fuck they wanted.
What'd you say?
There was times of stand-up specials. There was one place. It was Comedy Central. Where's HBO, right? So now you have limited amounts, and they don't have to compete with prices. They just go, this is what it is. If you have 10 different platforms that are all trying to get you and your viewers to come watch on their platform, which is what it's really about, that price is a bidding war.
That is a great example.
What you're worth isn't real until somebody else offers something.
That's right. That's right. Because Netflix got into the game of stand-up specials. Hulu's in the game of stand-up specials now. Amazon puts up stand-up specials.
Hulu getting into the game of Netflix specials bumped everybody else's. Bumped everybody else's prices up significantly. Because it's not like Netflix doesn't want to pay you. They're gonna pay. They got money. They were gonna buy some Warner Brothers for billions of dollars, but they don't have to pay you more than someone else is willing to offer, right? Leverage. Yeah, so it's leverage. So if Hulu's going, hey, we're gonna give you this, then Netflix gotta go, all right, well, we'll match that.
That's a great point. That's a great point. I believe, when you're the first person to do things, you're always gonna get a lot of flack. You're always gonna get a lot of people saying why you do that, but Andrew making a great point. Charlamagne making a great point. You look at it in the future, it could benefit future people that have shows that want to transition from YouTube to Netflix because that's just another way to make money. That's another person that can bid on your services. It's like Joe Rogan getting Spotify, right? He was on YouTube for years, and Spotify gave him the bag, and he's still on Spotify, right? Yes, you want more people, but you also have to look at how do I win? How am I winning now? I'm winning off of people interacting with me live. So if Netflix comes and change their platform for certain like live shows and bring a streaming aspect to where people can view and also comment at the same time, that'll be a game changer. But this is something that Netflix wouldn't know if they didn't have a show that really succeeded on that. You know, one thing about Netflix, they got the money and they will go where the money's at. They see that, oh, we need to add a live component to these type of shows. They'll do it because that equals more revenue. Streaming is a huge game. That's why you have all these platforms killing it. You have YouTube, you have Kick, you have Twitch. Those are the top three. So imagine if Netflix got in the game and did the same thing. It could be a game changer, not just for the industry, but it can also be a game changer for the people doing these podcasts. And now they have more opportunities to make more money. That's what you want. Netflix is the guaranteed money aspect, right? We're going to give you money. We're not basing it on your views. We're looking at your impact. So this can be a good thing, but I understand what Charlamagne, I understand what Andrew says, but right now they probably are taking a dip, but then they're trying to figure out how they can stay relevant and how the platform can change to continue to give them success, because the platform did pay them a lot of money. So definitely they'll be listening and saying, okay, if we need to change this, we'll change it for you so you can make more money so we can get more viewers. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It's always going to keep this thing rock, keep it going. Make sure you tap into the No Filter Morning Show Monday through Friday at 10:21 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I appreciate you guys rocking with me. And we're going to keep this thing going. Haters, I hear you guys. Keep going. Appreciate you.